Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Nameless Ones. My name is Avian Doyle, and I have been an angel healer for many years. I also teach self-development. I'm a life coach. I teach meditation, mindfulness, all that juicy stuff. And I have this very powerful, strong message that's coming in for somebody. Maybe even a few of you. And the angels were saying this to me as I was out for my walk earlier. Where do you feel you need permission to do something in your life? Just take a deep breath with that question. This is an activating question that's going to highlight where you are in your life right now and what you need to move through to upgrade to the next level. Where do you feel deep down? Where do you think you need permission in your life? Do you feel you need permission from your boss? Maybe you want to change your work rota, or you want to try a new approach with your job, and you feel like, well, I have to get permission to do that. By not even asking, you're basically giving all your power away. So where are you not asking for what you need? Because basically, if we feel somebody can overpower us, if we believe that other people have more power than us, we will buy into this limiting belief that we need them to grant us permission, like they're a genie in a bottle, to actually grant us permission. When you really think about that, it's so ludicrous. And we know this intellectually, right? We know that it makes no logical sense that we need permission from our father, that we need permission from our mother. And a lot of the time, you can fill in the blank where you're seeking permission. Maybe your ex-husband, maybe your estranged partner. You feel like you need permission to move on and to date again. And there can be a lot of guilt around that. There can be a lot of unease and a sense of, well, I can't hurt that person, so I can't give myself permission, even though that person chose not to meet me halfway in the relationship. This is where we get into subconscious, buried negative belief stuff. I was going to say ville or town or city, because we often have cities of negative beliefs hidden under the rugs of our lives. It's not unless we have to lift up the rug and actually look at what's deep down in the basement there, what's under that trapdoor, under the rug. So these current timelines, these energetic shifts that we're experiencing, which have been quite intense, are asking us to, first of all, acknowledge where we're giving our power away by seeking permission and seeking validation, looking for someone to grant us our request for whatever we really want to do. So maybe you want to leave your husband, or perhaps you want to have a baby. These current cosmic vibrations are requiring us to own what we actually want. we've had the last few months to dig deep, to really evaluate and to reflect and be honest with ourselves about what we actually want. Now we have to take the action and show up for that by saying, expressing, communicating, and owning what we want. So we're not going to the boss, the parent, the ex-husband, whatever, your best friend, cap in hand, seeking permission. We're actually going with a whole newfound sense of empowerment, of stating, claiming, lovingly, openly, hey, hi, this is me. This is who I am. This is who I've grown into being. I'm ready now to work this way. I'm ready now to live a certain lifestyle. I'm ready now to become a father, become a mother. I am ready now to take my maturity, my next phase of life, which requires XYZ. Would you like to share that with me? Would you like to give me the opportunity to experience that? Okay, so we're really moving away from the 3D model that was very fear-based, very disconnected. The way we're communicating now is it's inclusive, okay? The 3D world was segregative. It was separate. Everything felt separate. I was here, you were there. We're separate things. There was a very competitive edge to that energy. We're no longer in those frequencies anymore. We're in an integrative, integral world. And when you approach these challenges with that open-minded, solution-based focus, it's amazing what you will extract from people when you're honest and you share where you're coming from and you share how this can benefit you and them as a whole. So we'll go back to the first analogy example of your boss. You can go to your boss in a very positive frame of mind saying, I would like to contribute these skills I have. I would like to enhance the work I'm doing by being more this of this of this and using this and this and this. So that's a way that you're actually, it's benefiting you because you're getting to express this true being, that you're remembering who you are, but you're also sharing your gifts with the world, and your boss and your clients will get to benefit from those shifts in you as well. So it's back to the question, whom am I seeking permission from? And why do I think? Why does my inner child believe that I need permission? Because I'm a sovereign being. And I get to choose, as the parent, as the carer to my inner child, I get to choose now how and what that looks like. Going into autumn, so light's changing fast, but we do have some nice sunset energy there. So you see what I'm saying? It's bring it back to the self and really challenging those behaviors that whisper subconsciously, you need to get permission to do that. You can't just go and do that. You have to get permission. It goes against, it's like we have these family systems. We have these internal blueprints that were handed down to us from our parents, from our siblings, from our family structures, from the teachers, from our childhoods. This is a time where we're being asked to really examine those structures and say, you know what, see that structure there? I need to dismantle that, and I need to rebuild it in a way that suits me, that works for me, that provides a balance to my energy and to my life. So you may feel some discomfort. In fact, you will feel discomfort when you challenge these permission slips, these outside permissions that you deep down, even though intellectually you know that it's crazy talk to think that as a 42-year-old you need permission to do something. It's amazing how these subconscious beliefs can drive us and can literally run our lives unless we're willing to look at the structure, turn it around in different angles, examine it, and then say, you know what, this part has to go. I'm going to have to rebuild that part, and I'm going to have to, sometimes you might have to take the whole thing and go, this has to be demolished. Like, destruction and death is a natural part of life. You know, we've got the goddess Kali, who is the goddess who comes in when death is needed, when something has ran its course and it's over and the energy's gone, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a body, a vehicle that we're in. Kali comes in, well, whatever it is, and she says, it could be a phase of life. We're no longer children and we're going into teenage years. Kali will come in and say, you know what, this has to go. You can no longer remain in a 12-year-old's body. You're now 13, 14, 15. We have to move with life. And whether you like it or not, that process of change, of transformation is going to happen. You know, your body's going to change. Your hormones will shift. Things will start to grow where there weren't things before. Feelings will come in. So, you know, I talked about in the 2nd September energy video how we have to have guts to face life. Like, these changes and shifts in life, they happen whether we like it or not. Like, you don't get to decide whether or not you're going to get a period if your body, if you're heading down that track of life as a female, your body's going to produce a period. So it's the same with these aspects of life, but it's just because they feel more spiritual, that we often get discombobulated because we feel like we can't tangibly hold it. But actually, if you give yourself permission and you move forward and you go towards now where you want to go, it's going to be so liberating for you. You are actually rescuing and freeing yourself by giving yourself permission. So I feel that the collective is having to really honestly face where we've given our power away by thinking we needed outside external permissions. Maybe you have a group of girlfriends you meet up with and you feel like you owe an explanation to them about things you've done in your life, or maybe you got back with an ex and you know they're not going to like that, and you feel like you need their permission. You need them to grant you the grace to choose something that you want for yourself. Like, that's, you're giving your power away. You're not seeking permission anymore. Your soul isn't. So allow your personality to catch up with that. It's something I see a lot in, you see it in families, you see it in friendships, and of course you see it in our personal lives, you know. You can see it in the workplace as well, though. There are people who feel like their boss is the god over their existence, and that's crazy. Remind yourself, your boss is a human being like you. They really don't have any more power. Yes, you have to work in the guidelines of an organization and be grounded and logical, but at the end of the day, if you're not happy with the situation, your happiness, your life is your responsibility. So you need to give yourself that permission to be free and to choose the life that you want. So I often say to my girlfriends, I'm not asking for your opinion on XYZ, because I've given myself my own opinion, which is this is where I want to go. I think that's really important. I think we can get very comfortable in power dynamics that we don't see are actually affecting our freedom. We don't even realize that we're giving our power away by needing somebody outside of us to say, oh, that's okay that you quit your job. And it often goes back to childhood stuff. It's very important that if you feel the need to walk away from a toxic situation, whatever it is, if it's causing you ill health, if it's, and it doesn't even have to be that dramatic. It can be something very, very simple. But you just feel the need to say, you know, I don't want to work full time. But you feel like society's like, well, you have to work full time, otherwise you're a lazy bitch or whatever. Stop seeking permission from people who are not you. People are not in your shoes. People don't know the needs you have. They don't know your circumstances. It's very, very easy. You can sit there and look at me and think you know who I am, what my circumstances are, what my needs are. You don't. You're not inside my body, in my soul, in my shoes, living my life. And I'm not inside yours. I can't tell you what you need. But I can suggest, as the angels have suggested, challenging losing power by seeking external validation and seeking permission, when the only person who really, the permission you're actually seeking is of your own soul. It's of your own heart. And when your soul and heart come together in unison, in coherence, you're able to say, you know what, I'm giving myself permission to do this. And it can be something very, very simple. I have a friend who she wanted to get a tattoo. And her partner, her husband, was totally against it. He was really, really strict and firm. I don't want, you're not to get a tattoo. It's a tramp stamp, blah, blah, blah. She always wants to get a tattoo. And her mother and her sisters were always like, no, you can't get a tattoo. And she's a fully fledged adult. She's in her 40s. And I said to her, you're as free as a bird. If you want to get a tattoo and satisfy that teenage girl's dream to have the tattoo, go and get it done. Like, we really need to, when I sat down with her and we unpacked that, it actually was symbolic of way deeper issues, way deeper things that were so beyond the tattoo. The tattoo was almost a symbol of creative expression and freedom for her. So, and it was almost like she needed to break out of this box that her husband, her parents, her siblings had put her in from the past. And I'm happy to say she is going to get the tattoo. So that in itself is an act of freedom, and it's an act of me and God. That's the only permission you really need is from your higher self. And to be honest, even God is saying to you, honey, you got free will. Like, I've given you the playground of the earth, of life. Go and do with it what you want, and just stay in balance and come back to yourself. And speaking of balance, I've recorded a video called The Law of Balance. I think that's what I'm going to call it anyway. And it's about how to keep balance in these crazy intense energetic times that we're living in as we birth 5D. So yeah, what do you need to give yourself permission to do? I would love to hear in the comments. What do you feel inspired now to do, and you're giving yourself permission and you're going to go and do it because it's something you've always wanted to do, but you've always found an excuse not to, because maybe you hear your father's head, or maybe you hear your boyfriend's voice saying don't do that, but you know it's something that's good for you, that inspires you. Perhaps it's some kind of creative expression for you. I mean, like, you know, getting a tattoo is not going to, like, it's I mean, I don't have any tattoos. I have 0 tattoos. I'm not drawn to tattoos. I never was, even though growing up in the 80s and 90s, everybody was into tattoos and it's a really popular thing, and that's great. But the point is, as long as you're not hurting yourself or other people, what is it that you can grant yourself permission now to do that helps you align more with who you are now as this human spiritual being? What is that thing for you that excites you and creates a sense of stability and connection, that connects you to your soul and higher self? I would love to hear in the comments. Please put them below. I'd love to hear what you're giving yourself permission to explore now. If you enjoyed this video, I would love your thumbs up, and you can subscribe for more. And I am sending you all the freedom blessings from me and the angels. Take care. Bye bye.